Hi, everybody. Let me say got it. Okay. Well, welcome you guys to the team call tonight. We're continuing just talking about what we talked about at our team retreat, especially for people that weren't there. But even if you were there, it's such a good refresher because you can really never get enough of mindset speak, right? Because what goes on between our two ears is like can be deafening sometimes. And so I see you yawning up there, Crystal. Sorry, my sweet Crystal. Okay, but we want to talk about mindset because if you guys are using, and hopefully you are, you may not be if you just started, and that's okay, but eventually we'll get you onto this 90-day cycle to New Habits Journal. We've been using it. Andrea kind of started us out using this. She's been using it for several months, and then I've been using it. I just started my third one. It's 3 months worth in here. And so we're kind of following this because it's the daily do. It's what we do. So the very first page, let me see. This is my old one. This is the very first one. Okay, hold on. Let me get my other one. Oh, it's up front. Darn it. My other two are up front. But Gabby, do you have yours? You can kind of show them on the left-hand side of this page. When you start your day, it's all about mindset. And so it's first because it is the most important thing that you're going to do for your business, period. You can know all the how, but if you don't feel comfortable or confident, or even just a little bit like you're ready to step outside of your comfort zone, which Gabby will talk about, then you're not going to do the how. So you really have to work on your mindset, and working on your mindset is active. It's not passive. You can't just think your way into having a good mindset. You actually have to do things, physically do things. So what we want to talk about first is on that left-hand side of the page, there are 4 things. Gratitude. And so you're going to write a little gratitude list when you get up in the morning. And y'all, this is my favorite thing. Thank you, Lauren Rose. Okay. So who is using this that's on the call right now? Anybody using the Habits Journal? Okay, great. So you guys know. So the first things that we're going to do every day, and I have a special place. I took advice from my mentor. Thank you. Yay. Andrea, who said, you should habit stack. And so I did. So I created a special place in my house to go in the morning and sit and have my detox tea and start doing this. And so y'all can see. Thank you. That's awesome. So gratitude is the very first thing. So you're just going to write a really quick gratitude list, because gratitude gets you in the mindset that you want to be in to do life, period. Not just this. Okay. So when you are expressing gratitude, you're actually putting out high vibrations and good energy, which in turn, it brings it back to you. So you're attracting what you want, right? And you attract, y'all know about the law of attraction. And if you don't, oh my goodness, stay tuned. But the law of attraction basically says, like, whatever you're being, that's what you're going to attract, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're putting out there. So we want to start our day with gratitude, good vibrations. So meditation is the second thing. And y'all, this can be as simple as sitting quietly for 2 minutes. So you can see Lauren Rose is showing, I think we have speaker view on right now, but there we go. So meditation can just be 2 minutes. There's so many different types of meditation. Pick whatever you like. I like Ho'oponopono. That's one of my favorite things. So if you want more information on that, just let me know. We don't have time tonight for us to go into different types of meditation. But I used to think meditation had to be like, like sitting cross-legged and whatever. And it doesn't. Like for me, sometimes, going for a walk can be meditative. So it doesn't have to be like sitting or whatever. And then you're going to do affirmations. And affirmations, when we were at the lake retreat, we actually had people have their affirmations written out, and we're going to work on that in just a little bit with Gabby. And we laminated them, but she's going to give you another thing that you guys can do. And the affirmations are so important. Do not skip saying your affirmations. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Okay. And then of course, some kind of movement, always a good thing. And reading. Leaders are readers. So you guys, this is very important. So don't skip your reading. And if you don't have time, if you're a busy mom or whatever, you can listen, you can use Audible, so just something so that you're feeding your mind good things. Okay, so the good news is that Mind to Your Mind is active and practical, like building a muscle. Okay, so you can get better at this. You might feel like right now in the thank you, Lauren Rose. You might feel like in the beginning that, it's just like, oh, it's hard. And, you might find yourself falling back into old mindset habits or old thinking, stinking thinking, I like to call it. So you might find that is easier in the beginning, that you're falling back into stinking thinking. But if you will continue, stay the course. And I'm going to tell you about what you can do, because you can actually change pathways in your brain. Okay. So we want to do, I don't know if we're going to do the video, Gabby, or not. We can. Okay. So we have a really quick video about the neuroplasticity of the brain. So this is my last piece that I'm going to share. After this video, we'll talk a little bit more about this. But the neuroplasticity of the brain is science. This is real. And so we're going to let you watch this.
Oh my gosh, wait.
Maybe.
Hold on one sec.
That's
pull it up
okay.
on my okay. I think I need to do a different presentation mode.
That's okay. That's awesome. Giving you all a minute to just like rest and calm your mind and think.
Okay. Can y'all see that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yay. All right.
That's perfect. All right.
Not so long ago, many scientists believed that the brain did not change after childhood, that it was hardwired and fixed by the time we became adults. But recent advances in only the last decade now tell us that this is simply not true. The brain can and does change throughout our lives. It is adaptable, like plastic. Hence, neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. How does neuroplasticity work? If you think of your brain as a dynamic, connected power grid, there are billions of pathways or roads lighting up every time you think, feel, or do something. Some of these roads are well-traveled. These are our habits, our established ways of thinking, feeling, and doing. Every time we think in a certain way, practice a particular task, or feel a specific emotion, we strengthen this road. It becomes easier for our brains to travel this pathway. Say we think about something differently, learn a new task, or choose a different emotion. We start carving out a new road. If we keep traveling that road, our brains begin to use this pathway more, and this new way of thinking, feeling, or doing becomes second nature. The old pathway gets used less and less and weakens. This process of rewiring your brain by forming new connections and weakening old ones is neuroplasticity in action. The good news is that we all have the ability to learn and change by rewiring our brains. If you have ever changed a bad habit or thought about something differently, you have carved a new pathway in your brain and experienced neuroplasticity firsthand. With repeated and directed attention towards your desired change, you can rewire your brain.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabby, for making that happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. So neuroplasticity of the brain, you guys, this is something that is a science. Like I said, I have read like several books on it, and it is fascinating. So I highly recommend kind of a little bit more study on the neuroplasticity of the brain. But basically, I have a quick analogy that I'm going to share, and then I'm going to pass it over to Gabby. But I do want you to think about it like this. Have you ever found that hey, Emily, if you are driving somewhere for the very first time, you have to really focus and you have to really think about like turning to this road or going down to the end of this thing or whatever. But if you drive that way every single day, like say it's a new job and your first day on the new job, you're really, yes, thank you, Shad Helmstetter. That is who you want to definitely follow for anything on neuroplasticity of the brain. But, eventually your brain is rewired to that pathway, and you know how to get there, and you don't even think. Now you can like do, physics in your head while you're driving to your job because you now know that. So it's kind of like that. But the best analogy, or one of the best that I've ever heard, is this. So I know some of you've heard it, so just put me on mute for a second. But some of you maybe haven't. And this to me made so much sense. So imagine that you, every single day, this is back in the olden days when we had horse and buggy, but you get up and every single morning you saddle up your horse, you get in your buggy, and you go visit your grandmother every single day because grandma's ailing. Okay. And you go down to the end of the road and you turn left. That's the way you go to grandma's house. So every single day, eventually, so the horse eventually just knows which way to go. There are ruts in the road. You've created these ruts in the road, deep ruts. And so the wheels of the wagon like just kind of fall into the rut and they just go. And you don't even think. You're just going to grandma's. Well, one day, unfortunately, grandma dies in this analogy. And so now you have to change your path. You've decided, oh, well, I can't go to grandma's anymore, but I really like getting out. So I'm going to go visit my friend who lives to the right. So now you have to get the horse saddled up and get in your wagon and get to the end of the road and turn right. But you've already got these grooves created, these pathways that you're so used to going on, and your horse knows the way because you've created that pathway. And so it's going to be really hard to change your pathway, right? So you're going to have to like pull the horse over, get up out of the rut to get the wheel over and get the horse to go the right way. And so it's going to be hard, and you're going to be dragging and you're going to be fighting it. But eventually you start creating ruts that direction. Eventually the horse stops thinking, hey, I'm going to go down to the road, I'm going to turn left. And the horse just automatically starts going right. And then it becomes easier and easier, just like it did for you to drive to work, where you used to not know how to get to work. So it's the same in our brain. So why are we saying this? Because if you are finding yourself having negative thoughts or stinking thinking, especially in this business, it's really, really easy to do, where you think, oh, nobody wants any product. Nobody wants to join my team. Nobody, I have a friend who always said, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. And guess what? She doesn't have any money because she put it out there constantly. So you guys, it's super important to change those pathways and change your thoughts. And I'm going to hand it over to Gabby now so she can finish us out with some amazing stuff.
Awesome. Okay, so hopefully y'all got our workbook that we posted on Facebook. If not, totally fine. I'll just share real quick what it looks like so that you can pull it up. Oh, wait. Can y'all see this workbook, or is it the other one? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so just like Polly was saying, neuroplasticity is super incredible and so powerful. There's a couple of things that you can actually do to start changing those pathways in your brain that don't require a lot of work. So for example, we're going to talk about words of affirmation and positive words, but also using the word I am is like one of the strongest things that you can use. So basically, whenever you're going to create these affirmations, which we're going to do at the end of this call together, you want to say I am. And that's really empowering. Also the word win. So when you're dreaming big and talking about that dream house you want, or when you're going to be promoting or whatever, instead of saying, if I can ever afford it, say, when I go on that trip, or when I buy this house, or when I earn this car. So your brain starts to get used to it. And all of a sudden, because right now, if you say, I own this like humongous yacht and I spend summers in France, your brain's going to be like, whoa, that's not really normal. If you start saying, when I own a yacht and spend summers in France, you're imagining it and your brain's starting to get more used to hearing that. So it becomes more normal, so that when you start to, and I'm going to talk about this more later, but you're going to start acting a certain way, thinking a certain way, speaking a certain way, acting more confidently. And that's going to actually help you manifest and bring these things into your life, because you're going to be acting as you should be to get those things. And then the last thing you can say is the word yet. So catch yourself if ever you hear yourself going into like a really lack or scarcity mindset, just throw the word yet on the end of that. And that's another little tweak that you can do. So for example, you can say, I don't have money for this yet, or, I don't have the confidence yet. So that's like a little tweak that you can make as well. Okay, so I'm going to switch. Can y'all see that I switched to the presentation? Yes. Okay. Cool. Okay. So this is all about comfort zone. And y'all have heard us talk about like the law of the lid and like leveling up and all that kind of stuff. But really minding your mind is so important, because without your mindset, you're not going to be going anywhere in Arbonne, because your personal growth is parallel to your growth in Arbonne. So I want y'all for a second to look at these words. And if you have a piece of paper or if you have that workbook printed out, go ahead and flip to the second page. And I want you to circle some of these things. Just don't judge yourself. You're not going to be sharing these answers with anybody, but I want you to just circle what feels right for you right now. Circle what feels like your norm right now. And again, no one's going to see this but you. So I'm going to give you all a second to jot some of those things down. So what do you identify with? What do you relate to? All right, and y'all put in the chat when you're done. Okay. So y'all can come back to this later. You can watch the recording. We can also share these slides with you. So what you're gonna do here is go from your comfort to your growth zone. So depending on what you circled, it most likely is either within a circle or on the edge of a circle. And so this right here is your comfort zone. If you feel safe, if you feel like you're just scraping by, or if you have a lot of regret or fear of change, that all means that you're living very much in your comfort zone. If you have some of the comfort zone, but then like problem solving, open to other ideas, learning new skills, but still like finding excuses and like lacking confidence, you're starting to get more into that courage zone. And then we want to, in Arbonne, help you get to your growth zone.
Gabby, did you change the screen with the circles?
Yeah, it didn't. Okay.
It didn't change. So yeah, I thought.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Let me try it. Okay. Yeah, so this is the circles I was talking about. So you're going to want to go from your comfort to courage zone. And the way that you do that is by rewiring your brain, which is what Polly was talking about. So from this image, I want you to look at the stories that you're telling yourself, because, I mean, since we're on here for an Arbonne training, I am going to be talking mainly about your Arbonne business tonight. However, all of these things can apply to every single piece of your life, whether it's your relationships or your finances, whatever, your fitness, like all of this applies to every single piece of your life. So just, you can do this exercise with those other parts later, but for now, I just want you to focus on your Arbonne business specifically. Okay, so how do you get from one to the other? It's going to be all through neuroplasticity and rewiring your brain. So what are you telling yourself? What are some stories, some thought processes that you're telling yourself? And this is another slide. Can y'all see that I just changed it? Yeah, okay. So like Polly said, we're so much in our head, y'all. And a lot of times we are telling ourselves stories that are not true. And a really good example is, think about like that soccer coach that you had when you were in like second grade who told you that you weren't fast enough or you weren't good enough. Like I had that person. But also there are so many different stories. And a story I shared at the retreat was, ever since I was really young, I've struggled with some autoimmune issues. And because of that, I couldn't play sports in lower school. I had really weak joints. And so if anybody like kicked me on the soccer field, I'd have to go to the hospital. So like everyone knew like they weren't allowed to kick me on like the playground. And so I was like kind of labeled as the sick girl. And I played into it because that's all I knew. My parents knew, like they would take me to the doctor. I'd get blood work. I would get a treat after. Like it was so much of my identity. And then I started to realize post-college, and honestly, when I started Arbonne, learning about self-talk and all these stories that we tell ourselves, and I was like, wow, I've been labeling myself and like living into this like sick person mentality my whole life. And I'm done with that. I want to be the healthy person. So whatever stories you're telling yourself, whether it's you don't have enough money, you're too big, too small, too thin, too short, not smart enough, not connected enough, you're not ready to start, you don't have enough time, whatever stories you're telling yourself, it's a story. And you can rewire that in your brain. It's something that has been implanted into your life from somewhere else, probably not you, but you may not know where it comes from. So I want y'all to think about for a second, some of these stories. Again, you can grab a pen and paper and write some of these things down. So what are some of the stories you're telling yourself? Is it that you don't deserve to be successful? Is it that you're always broke? You're not good with money? You're not disciplined? You can't change? You're a failure? Your plate's too full? Don't have enough time? Don't take care of your body? So write down a couple of things. And then just like the repetition that caused these stories to get imprinted in our brain, it's going to take repetition to undo them and to have a different story. So what we're going to do is break up into rooms. We did this at the retreat, so I hope it works well in rooms, but we broke up into little small groups with 2 people. And it was really cool. I think a lot of people took away some awesome affirmations from that. But what I want y'all to do in the rooms is I want you to pretend like you're a lawyer and like go to court with this other person and defend your story. So whatever story you're telling yourself, like let's say you're not confident enough. I want you to tell the other person in the room, and we're going to probably do groups of like 3, maybe 3 or 4, depending on how many people are on here. I want you to tell the other people in your room why that's not true anymore. So when's the time that you were super confident? When's the time that you stood up for yourself? When's the time that you're really proud of? And like defend yourself in court. And I want you to actually like believe into it. And then from there with your group, y'all can help each other make affirmations around that. So again, this process you can apply to any part of your life, but we're going to focus on Arbonne specifically. So you'll see in your workbook, you'll see something like this. It's a little chart. So basically what you're going to do is go ahead and write in this first box, one of your limiting beliefs, and you can have as many boxes as you want. So let's say, for example, you put, I'm not confident. That can be one of your limiting beliefs. Where did that come from? Figuring out what's the root of that. Where did that story come from? Was it a teacher or a parent or a friend or someone that made you feel like you weren't confident or couldn't be confident? Where did that story stem from? And if you're having trouble with this part, let me know. I can send you a different exercise called the River of Life, which helps figure out where these stories came from and like getting to the root of them. And then from there, again, I want you to defend yourself in court. So why is this actually not true? This is where you're going to put in that answer that you and your room on Zoom are going to come up with. And then y'all are going to create an affirmation to correct it. And this is the affirmation you'll say over and over and over again. And we are going to be, you print these out. I told Polly, mine's kind of janky. I have it like in a giant Ziploc bag with duct tape on my bathroom shower, but it works and it stays there and it doesn't get wet. So you can just get a large Ziploc bag, print your paper out, put it in there. I actually have added pictures to mine so that like it has a lot of like house stuff. And like when I was pregnant, I had like healthy pregnancy, like other things on there as well. So get creative, like obviously add your Arbonne things. And I'm going to share some affirmations in a second that you can use, but that's super important. You want to be saying it at least once a day, if not 2 or 3 times a day. So I love this quote. It says, any man could, if he were so inclined, be the sculptor of his own brain, which is amazing, y'all. Like you're in control. Like Polly said, this is an active thing. Rewiring your brain and minding your mind is an active thing. It's just like exercise and you have to work on it. So to create effective affirmations, step 1, you're going to figure out what your goals are, big and small, and then what challenges are holding you back. So this can also play into your stories. Like, for example, if you feel like you're not confident enough, maybe your goal is to get more confidence so that you attract more people into your business. So kind of tie those pieces together. Create affirmations to target that specifically, and then say that 2 or 3 times a day consistently. And y'all, consistently is the main point here, because we know, especially with like the 5 and 5 and doing this 90-day tracker, that consistency is super, super important. Basically, your business is like a wave. So if you start and then stop, you're going to miss the wave every single time. So just go and trust the process. Do these affirmations for at least 90 days. I promise. It's insane how they work. Okay. I'm looking at my notes because I'm totally going all over the place.
Hey, Gabby, let me ask you this real quick. I don't know if we have time to break up into groups and stuff like that, but what if we do this? What if we had like a few people read their affirmations? Because I remember when I'd hear about this, and again, y'all, I never did this kind of stuff like for a good part of my business. And it really wasn't until, I mean, I've written affirmations before, but when I started working on this workbook, I literally read my affirmation off my phone, off my notes section. I mean, I set my timer to 2 minutes and I read it over and over again. Like that's part of like my habit stacking. I do that when I'm drinking my detox tea in the morning, but I never really got it, like what people were talking about. And then I'm like, what do I write? Like, what am I saying? Like, you know, and I think of that Saturday Night Live skit, you know, and Atticus would make fun of me, you know, like I just didn't get it. And I have to say that, I mean, it's like what Polly was talking about, like putting your mind in the right frame of mind, like when you do your gratitude and then when you do your affirmation, like it's like you're literally like setting yourself up, like you're posturing yourself. Like I literally can feel myself like sitting taller, being prouder, being more confident, like just being like ready, you know. And it's just, I mean, it sounds so kooky, I know, but I think that maybe like it might be good, Gabby, if like maybe like a couple of us could read our affirmations for those who haven't worked on them and who are just like, wait, what do I say? Because I always struggled with that. I never knew, like, you know, I'm like, what do you think she says for her affirmation?
Yeah,
What is her magic boo-boo that works?
Yeah, and also you guys, you can, if you didn't print the workbook, it's Gabby posted it in Success and Simplicity. So we can also work with you, whoever your upline or leader or mentor, guide, sideline, we can work together and get you some if you're stuck. But yeah, I think
and I love that when people broke up in groups too, because so like if you didn't come to the retreat and you would like to like do that, like we can pair people up because it was so effective. I just don't want to rush people on like, you know, like, because like it was so effective that people like really just got to dig deep and just kind of figure out like, hey, this is not true about me. I'm holding myself back. I think this about me, but it's like a story that I'm telling myself.
Yeah, I think it'd be really good for some people to share. And then if you do want to find a partner, go ahead and put that in the chat and then we'll connect you with people. And just really quick, if y'all want to screenshot this, here are some specific Arbonne examples that I've used in the past. So whether it's about like attracting clients or attracting consultants into your business, whatever you feel like you're lacking, make an affirmation specific to that. And I can share these slides too, but feel free to screenshot this real quick.
And y'all, like mine is like so like this, and then like having like Gabby said, doing it in the shower is such a great idea because it's like, what else are you gonna do in the shower?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I can read mine if y'all like want me to do, like I did this on a training call not too long ago with some people from my team. And then like Gabby, I don't know if you have yours ready or if you have to run to your bathroom to go get it, you know, or, you know, Polly or anyone at the retreat, like Robbie.
Yeah, I say a bunch of people at the retreat like read theirs out loud.
Do they have them? You'll have them? Great.
Robbie, you're nodding your head. Do you have yours around? Or Jean or Kristen? Harper, anybody want to share?
Or anyone who wants to share, for sure. Like, don't be shy. And I mean, again, like I always feel so silly. Like if someone else was listening, I'm like, oh my gosh. But I'm just like, whatever. Like I own it. Like I want this, you know? And
maybe share your story if you feel comfortable sharing your story and then like how your affirmation that affirmed it or like corrected it.
Go, Kristen.
So do you just want the affirmations I have?
Well, if you can share like the story that you were telling yourself, because I remember you shared at the retreat too, like what you were struggling with and then the affirmation to overcome it.
Okay, so some of the things I had listed was I'm not organized enough, I don't have enough energy, fear of failure, terrible at time management, and that I would not be a good leader. So my list of affirmations that I have is I have 4 business builders each month that I successfully coach to district manager. I have a full calendar each month. I enjoy the calls, the reach outs, the Zooms that it takes to grow my business. I have influence and I'm changing lives. People want to talk to me about my business. People come to me for a way to do things differently in their life. It is easy for me to talk to people and find out how Arbonne can help them. I am a champion of compassion and I am authentic in my business. I know the right way to talk to people about my business. I'm a positive and uplifting leader. Where was I? I am funny and fun to be around. Orders are coming to me every day. How many times did I say that?
That's right. They are. They did.
And then they did.
They truly did. She
Yeah,
said
close
that,
night,
that
you were
night, and like they were coming
They're
in.
coming to me. They're just coming to me.
I love
I
that
know
one.
how to paint a good picture for people. I easily manage everything I need to get done in the day. Still working on that one. I'm still waiting for my brain to catch up on that one. I am organized. My house is neat and everything has a home and is in its place.
Look at you.
Obviously, we haven't reached that point yet, but we're working on it. My financial life is changing for the better. I have created the lifestyle of my dreams. So there you go.
I love it. That's
Awesome.
so good. Oh my gosh. And yeah, y'all, you can have like a list, you can, like Andrew's is like a paragraph. You can have them like written out line by line. You can have 2 or you can have 10, but just read them consistently every single day. Robbie, I see you're unmuted. Do you want to share?
Yeah, and I did it a little bit different than Kristen. I have different ones that are smaller that are like all over my house, and then I read them all every morning, but then they're just kind of randomly all around my house and my car. So like wherever I am, they're there and I can see them and it reminds me of them all day. But just one of them that I will read is I attract 10 sharp, savvy business builders to my team every month. Everyone I meet is excited about joining my team and committed to consistently work their Arbonne business with 5 new reach outs daily.
Love it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Amazing. Anybody else want to share? I know we're a little bit over time, so. Jean, you're muted.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm just going to share one, the main one, and that's lack of confidence. So I had Gabby and she, well, I don't know how we came to it, but I realized that I was very confident when I was teaching. I never had a confidence problem when I was teaching, and this is teaching. That's exactly what this is. So I made that my main one. So I wrote down on the spot, I am confident I can be a good area manager. But then I found, and this came from somewhere, it might have come from the retreat. It might have come, I had it earlier, but I'm sure it came from our team. But I found one that I starred, and I start out with this one every day. I love sharing the gift of Arbonne with people, and I'm good at it. And I'm confident, and I help people see the big picture and how Arbonne can change their lives. And that kind of hit everything in one sentence to me that I really had trouble with. So
I love that.
That's
Jean, you're amazing. Okay, y'all, if anybody wants to partner up and do this exercise with somebody one-on-one, just put it in the chat and we can go ahead and partner y'all up, and then you can find a time to talk this week. But it's a really cool exercise. I can also send you these slides if you want to go through it more in depth with somebody. And then just print it out, put it in your shower, read it every day, or put it on sticky notes around your house. Like, get creative. I know sometimes people will put it in like the sun thingy in their cars so that when they pull it down, they see it. But there's a lot of really cool ideas. Your phone background is another idea. I've done that before. So they're amazing, and affirmations are just so cool for so many different reasons. And it's going to help your business a ton. I mean, it is wild, y'all, what happens when you just do this consistently. So I think that's all we had. Gail Harper put in the chat a link. She went ahead and made our team, like Success and Simplicity, a team with the, can you share a little bit, Gail Harper, if I unmute you?
Oh, sorry. I was just doing an enthusiasm.
But can you share?
It was international, youth day, I guess Friday. And so Arbonne started their fundraising webpage. So it makes it easy for us to do, you can do your own, and then you can also give, and then you can also create a team. So I thought it'd be fun if we created a team, and then y'all can share it with your clients or give yourselves, or you can always add it as an incentive to be like, and don't forget to round up, my team is running our fundraising for this, blah, blah, blah. So it's all for mental health for young adults, which I know many of the teachers and everybody would love to support.
Yeah. Thanks for organizing that, Gail Harper. That's so awesome. But yeah, you also, when you check out of an Arbonne order, you can always round up your order. You can add $5. And there should be a place where you can enter your team. You can just put success and simplicity. And all of us as a team are competing. And actually, the last time I checked the numbers, we were like one of the top teams, which is pretty exciting. So,
Yay.
yeah.
Hey Gail, is it one word or is it like 6, like the team name is 6?
I think it's 3, like success in simplicity, right?
Yeah,
Or-
it's 3.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. It's success in simplicity, 3 words.
Cool. Got it.
So awesome. All right, so yes, let's all go and change our mindset if it needs changing. And write your affirmations and let's do this, guys. It is like the sky is truly the limit. Well, it's not the limit. Like the Samba always says, the sky is not the limit.
Perfect. And yeah, if you, after this call, decide that you want us to partner you up with someone, you just text Polly or I and we'll get it organized.
I have 3 people so far, Amber, Christiana, and Emily. So I've got that written down. So I'll get on that. And if anybody else, just text me or text your upline and
Perfect.
get it
All
done.
right. Well,
All
happy
right, thanks,
Sunday.
Yeah, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you for coming on.
Have a great week, everyone.